The subscription you forgot about is not small because the charge is small. It is small because it has learned how to avoid becoming a decision. That is the genius of default spending. The first payment needed your attention. The 10th one does not. The service renews quietly. The app stays installed. The email goes unread. And the charge becomes part of the background noise of modern life. Most people audit subscriptions the wrong way. They ask, do I use this? That question is too soft. You can use almost anything once in a while. A better question is, would I choose this again today if it were not already attached to me? That question changes the room. Now, the subscription has to earn its place like a new purchase. It cannot hide behind inertia. It cannot survive just because canceling it is annoying. It has to prove it still solves a real problem, brings rest, or creates real value. This does not mean cancel everything. Some recurring charges are excellent. They reduce friction, protect time, or support work you actually care about. The problem is not recurrence. The problem is unconscious recurrence. A receipt room fills up when small defaults never stand trial. Streaming, cloud storage, delivery memberships, app upgrades, newsletters, fitness trials, shopping services. Each one says, I am only a few dollars. Together, they become a second layer of rent. There is also a psychological cost. Every unused subscription is a tiny open loop. It says you should cancel, should use it more, should be more organized. Even when the money is not huge, the mental clutter adds up. A clean subscription audit has 3 piles: keep, cancel, or pause and rotate. That third pile matters. You do not need 12 months of access to every occasional interest. Some services belong in seasons, not permanently attached to your card. The point is not to become cheap. The point is to make every recurring charge become a conscious adult again. If it wants to stay in the room, it should be able to answer why. The cleanest way to do this is not to open the banking app in a panic. That creates a burst of control. Then the old pattern returns. A better audit is slower and sharper. For each recurring charge, ask 4 questions. What problem did this solve? When I first signed up, does it still solve that problem? Now, would I buy it again today? At the same price? Is this a permanent tool or a seasonal tool? That last question is underrated. Many people keep a service all year because they might want it eventually, but might want is not the same as needs monthly access. Rotating subscriptions is not deprivation. It is refusing to let every past interest become a permanent tenant. There is a difference between something being used and something being useful. You may use it simply because it is there, but that does not mean it earns its place. A charge earns its place when it saves time, reduces friction, or supports real joy. It must create value you would deliberately choose again. Default spending thrives in the gap between noticing something and actually deciding on it. Your job is to close that gap. The receipt room gets lighter when every recurring charge stands under the light for a minute. Some will stay and some will leave. The ones that stay will feel different because they are no longer sneaking around the house. The most revealing moment is not the charge itself, but the emotion when thinking about canceling. If canceling feels annoying, that is normal. If canceling feels like giving up a version of yourself, that is information. Some subscriptions survive because they are attached to your identity. The language app for the person you plan to become, or the fitness platform you keep meaning to restart. That does not mean the dream is fake. It just means the receipt is carrying a story. You can keep the story and still stop paying monthly rent on the guilt. Imagine the subscription as a person knocking on your door today. They are not already inside, so they have to ask to come in again. Would you open the door? Would you pay them now? Or would you miss them if they left for 3 months? That image cuts through a lot of fake loyalty. Some services feel necessary only because they have been around long enough to become furniture. But furniture still takes space, and a forgotten charge takes money and self-respect. The audit should not be angry. Anger makes people cancel things they value, only to restart them later. The better tone is direct, so decide if the charge has a current job or not. If it saves time, brings real rest, or supports a current project, keep it. If it only supports the fantasy that one day you will use it, cancel it or rotate it. Your credit card should not be a museum of old intentions. It should be a list of current choices.